because I don't know where you got that info. No, introductions can go either way. I saw when P.S. Raymond was introducing the members of the BCOCC, and then he said the principals. College principals, only to see my colleagues. So thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity first and foremost to I do recognize first and foremost who have come from other countries come to this conference representing the United Republic of Tanzania, the Federal, and the Republic of Uganda. These are our brothers, our neighbors, and border control programs possible. The European Union, which is represented here by the Deputy Head of Delegation. Also the Deputy Ambassador of the Federal Republic. The oldest and most consistent friends of Kenya. We also have representatives from other countries here within Africa. We appreciate them in absentia. All of you welcome back. That applies to all of you. This is home. And that's why we've made Kenya a visa-free country, because archaeologists tell us that the origins of human beings can be traced to a place called Turkana in Kenya. So any person who is a human being coming to Kenya is coming home. So welcome home. And the more reason why the government has decided to make Kenya visa-free, because people don't get visas to go home. And we've just asked for some information, those who are coming home, so that we know, for purposes of making sure that our borders are secure. And the little matter about the electronic travel authorization is just to make sure that we know who is coming back home, so that we can prepare for your homecoming and treat you well, and also prevent those who may want to take advantage of coming home. If they have other intentions, we prevent them from coming. So I know we have some administrative and procedural issues we are dealing with gradually, and we'll straighten up that space to make sure we make it much easier for anybody visiting Kenya to come freely and also leave freely when it is their time to go to other destinations. PSs who are here, P.S. Raymond for Internal Security, P.S. Bitok Affairs, our brother P.S. from Tanzania, responsible for trade, the DG for Immigration, our subnational security officials, regional commissioners, police commanders, county commissioners, civil society organizations who are represented here, members of the press who continue patriotic duty of informing our people. All of us, good morning. Good morning again. This conference is about border control and border management, and allow me just to highlight a few things that are connected with our being here for the next 3 days. First, it is with a profound sense of duty that I stand before you today for this inaugural National Border Management Conference. I extend my sincere appreciation to all who have joined us in this momentous occasion, and I express my gratitude to the organizers for planning the crucial gathering, which underscores the importance of cooperation and collaboration in securing our nation's borders. Thank you very much, those who have organized this meeting, and the support of the International Organization for Migration has been indispensable and valuable to our country. Thank you very much, IOM, and I promise that we'll continue working, the government will continue working with you and helping you even as you support us in this very important matter. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow delegates, as we convene here today, it is imperative that we reflect on the critical role that border management plays in safeguarding our nation's sovereignty, protecting our citizens, and promoting regional stability. As you are aware, Kenya borders serve as vital conduits for legitimate trade and travel, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, not just within our neighbors, but the whole world. However, these borders also present challenges in the form of transnational crime, terrorism, and other illicit activities that threaten the safety and security of our people. Therefore, it is our understanding that borders and border control activities and programs are about laws, policies, institutions, institutional approaches, actions, and programs to regulate cross-border movement of people, goods, and even animals. And the aim is to protect the homeland and through the air against illegal entry, illicit activity, and other threats. I also want to, by way of setting the context and the environment for this conference, say that for us to create border control efficiency, the need for coordination is important. First, the coordination within the national agencies that are involved. And here in Kenya, we have the Border Control Operations Coordinating Committee, BCOCC, which is chaired by the PS responsible for internal security, which exercises oversight over operations of respective agencies at the ports of entry and exit, and also formulating and implementing policies for the management and control of our borders. Other than the intra-national cooperation, there is of course need for bilateral coordination, which is the reason why all our brothers and sisters from the neighboring countries are here, because we are all one, and what they are doing in their countries is important to us, the same way what we are doing here in Kenya is important to them. And of course, the need for multilateral and global coordination. And that's why we have our friends and partners, brothers and sisters from outside the immediate neighborhood. As I have said, the aim of this coordinating agency or body is to oversight the multiple agencies that are involved in border control and management, and also to formulate and oversee implementation of the laws and policies in place, create efficiency for trade facilitation, and the movement of people. And therefore, the question that lingers is how do we move this coordination? And I see that is the theme of this conference, towards integration. There are, of course, a number of challenges in this endeavor to coordinate border management and control programs. And the first one is the changing nature and the changing definition of the border. As you're aware, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, the border is the place where countries exercise their territorial control and jurisdiction. It is the place where compliance to the country's security, health, agriculture, trade, and other laws take place. It is the place where compliance is assessed and enforced. However, the concept of the border has changed, qualitatively speaking, because today, while the physical border still exists, there is also the virtual border, which has brought its own complications and has become even more critical to manage and control, even more than the physical border. So as we struggle in harnessing our efforts to control and manage the physical border, we are confronted with the virtual border, which is giving us even more complications. As you're aware, traditionally we have always looked at our national borders in terms of the airspace, the sea, and also the land territorial boundary. But the fourth space, with mainly which has come as a result of technology and convergence of the digital and technology space, has presented the cyberspace as the fourth frontier of the nation's vulnerability in terms of security. So even as we struggle with the physical border, we need to increasingly look at how we coordinate our activities to protect our virtual borders. The second challenge, of course, is how to manage non-intentional risks, because traditionally the border control management has been focused on intentional risks, where people who are either criminals or dealing with illicit goods want to access the territory unlawfully against the law. But we have cases of non-intentional risks of people who pose a risk to the country through inadvertent and unknown to them, and this is more so in areas like biosecurity, where people access the territory, but they are already exposed to biosecurity threats, and it's not intentional that they are in that situation. The third challenge is how to coordinate the plethora of institutions and agencies. You have customs, you have port health, you have trade, you have standards people, quality standards people, you have security people, you have immigration and customs people and everybody else. How to coordinate that and leave the traveler happy is a big issue for us, because the traveler wants to deal with government as one agency, as one entity, as opposed to the multiplicity. So there is multiplicity of inspections, authorizations, and this is something that going into the future we have to confront. And number four, because of the complexity of the security threats that we continue to face across the world, there is need for huge investments in border control technology. And for many countries, including countries that are fairly well off economically, managing borders in the light of modern threats requires huge resources, and not many countries are able to put together the kind of technology that is required for effective border control and management, including the virtual border that I talked about. All said and done, the traditional way of securing our territories will still remain to be relevant, and therefore the traditional security hardware will remain crucial for countries in the immediate future, even as we look at the changes that are driving us to looking at things differently. In this regard, I am pleased to report that the government of Kenya has made significant investments in equipping our security forces with the latest equipment, technology, and resources to combat threats to our national security. And this we are doing through the modernization of equipment of the National Police Service and also the National Intelligence Service, together with the Kenya Defence Forces, which are our organs of our national security. We are in a serious and deliberate modernization program to make sure that our police service, our intelligence service, and the Kenya Defence Forces have the latest equipment which are able to secure our borders. And we are also investing seriously in cyber security to make sure that our cyberspace as a country is also threats that we continue to face. To allocate funds to support other agencies, including the Immigration Department or Directorate, that equipment and technology helps us to control. Putting on more funds to make sure that we equip all our officers in all the agencies to confront the emerging security challenges effectively, and our ability to combat terrorism and criminal activities, but also we can effectively monitor and control our border, preventing illicit activities from crossing in, but for our neighboring countries and the world. Secure borders are therefore travel, fostering closer ties with our neighbors and advancing regional integration efforts. We create an environment conducive to economic growth, job creation, and social development, benefiting Kenya as well as other countries. Ladies and gentlemen, central to our discussions must be the development of a robust policy and regulatory framework that provides the necessary legal and institutional infrastructure to support our border management efforts. Such a framework should encompass comprehensive legislation, clear mandates, and streamlined procedures to ensure coherence, accountability, and effectiveness in our border management operations. Furthermore, interagency cooperation is essential for success in border management. No single agency can address the myriad challenges posed by border security alone. Therefore, we must foster a culture of collaboration and information sharing among all relevant stakeholders, including law enforcement, immigration, customs, intelligence, and all key stakeholders involved in the day-to-day operations at our ports of entry and exit. By working together seamlessly, we can maximize our collective impact and enhance our ability to detect, deter, and respond to security threats along our borders. Ladies and gentlemen, technology and infrastructure play pivotal roles in modernizing border management and strengthening our security capabilities. Investments in border infrastructure is essential for enhancing our situational awareness, improving our border control processes, and facilitating seamless cross-border movement of goods and people. Further, the development of technology enables us to identify emerging threats and deploy resources more efficiently. Moreover, improving border management to facilitate legitimate trade and travel is not only essential for economic growth, but also for promoting regional integration and fostering closer ties with neighboring countries. Secure and efficient borders are crucial for reducing trade barriers and enhancing market access for businesses. Therefore, we must prioritize investments in border infrastructure, streamline custom procedures, and strengthen cooperation with our regional partners to promote trade facilitation and economic development. How does the future look like in this space? Currently, border control, border management is about biometrics, immigration stamps, exit controls, exit permits, travel documents, visas, electronic travel advisor authorizations, ETAs, and so forth. Into the future, this space of border control is moving towards less of the management of the physical borders to more effort in the management of the virtual border, because that is where the threats are going to concentrate in the foreseeable future. And therefore, the border of the future is going to be secure but contactless, with less human interaction, but with a lot of security checks and controls. The use of technology, in particular digital technology, is going to become crucial for future border control and management. Future border control and management is going to be driven by data. And that is why big data is irrefutably one of the key drivers of the fourth industrial revolution. And therefore, in this space, data is going to be crucial. If you have the data, you are able to secure your territory. If you don't have the data, it doesn't matter the hardware and the human resources that you deploy. Without data, it's going to be very difficult to secure our countries and our world. I also foresee the increasing use of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and other emerging technologies where border control and management is going to be shared between human interactions and the use of machines. The border of the future is also going to be a synergy, connection, and shared responsibilities between the public and private players. And therefore, this area, which has traditionally been government-driven, is going to be tempered or a bit influenced also by private sector, because of the increasing role of private players, not only in the whole space of human capital movement, trade, and so forth and so on. And also the increasing involvement of the private sector to provide border control solutions through public-private partnerships. And therefore, the private sector is going to have a seat on the table going forward in border control and management. And therefore, that is where we are moving to, from the physical to the virtual, more use of technology, the integration of emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and so forth, but also a private sector participation. Let me add that although we are investing in the manner in which I have said to secure our nation, it is important that we provide a culture, a security culture among our people, not just the people of Kenya, but the people of our different countries and the people of the world. The security will best be achieved when there is a culture of a security consciousness by the citizens of the world. Therefore, I would like to emphasize the importance of vigilance, patriotism among the people of our countries, and our collective security is not just the responsibility of law enforcement agencies, but it requires the active participation of every citizen. I urge each one of us to remain vigilant and to cooperate with law enforcement authorities to report crime at the border points or elsewhere in our territories. And let us stand united in our resolve to protect our countries and also to uphold the values that define us as proud Kenyans, proud citizens of the world, and proud citizens of the countries where we come from. And together we can build a safer, more secure future for the generations to come. I am honored to be invited to this esteemed conference, which serves as a platform for dialogue, cooperation, and innovation in border management. I haven't been in this kind of a forum for some time. As you've heard, I used to be an academic, and this used to be my daily menu. But over time, I got into other duties, and the vagaries of duty have taken me away from spending moments like this one with people sharing ideas on how to shape our world. Most of my activities now are more practical, and I have less of these opportunities. And I don't want to say I envy you, to say that it's good for me to be part of what you're doing here. Of knowledge and critical thinking in terms of solutions to the problems that our world faces today, including security problems. I urge, therefore, I look forward to your fruitful discussions and to seeing the output from this meeting, which I'm told is the first of this nature. And we also look forward to being invited to other countries also, to come to your countries and learn from your experiences as well that others have. I wish you well. It's easier without hurting our security interests, not just for Kenya. Looking forward to seeing the output of this conference. Horizons, and we will see how we translate that thinking into practical solutions to make sure. My pleasure. Even as I do so, I don't want again to forget appreciating the Federal Republic of Germany. I also don't want to forget thanking once more and wish you well. It is now my pleasure to declare this conference officially open. Thank you very much.